Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be talking to you about something that I feel very passionately about. Now, before I get started, I haven't done a video like this in a while where I'm just talking to the camera about something that I think is important. So, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more of these talking videos. Now, the topic of today's video is going to be use more sample packs and presets. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, as you guys probably know, especially in dance music, there's a very prevalent idea that, you have to make everything from scratch. You have to use your own kick that you recorded with a drum that you made out of, the drum head is made out of the feather of a chicken that you raised since you were a baby, or, whatever kind of crazy thing it is. It's essentially just this never-ending cycle of, you have to make this from scratch. You can't use this from here. You can't sample from anywhere. It has to all be done from you. And, to put it frankly, you're not that special. What I mean by this is, I think a lot of times people think that when you make a track, everybody in the world is going to be listening to it with just, 1,000% scrutiny. Oh, how dare this guy ever possibly consider to use a sample like this? But it's dude, the truth is, you're just one person. Very, very large sea of people making this kind of music. And a lot of this music sounds very similar. We need to keep in mind, really, ultimately, the 808 and the 909 are kind of like the original sample pack, right? And even, the 303, for that matter. So, we're not really all just doing something super magically original anyway. If you want to do that, go make ambient music where, you make your own Max for Live reverb and then, if you really, truly believe in that, I think that's something to keep in mind. Is that with dance music, back in the day, a lot of these tracks, there are, whole labels that are literally just, different parts from other tracks, from other labels, put together in different ways. And that's, the different tracks on these labels. It's dance music was really founded on sampling, right? House music in general literally just started as disco edits, straight up, with, some drum machine sounds underneath. And this, of course, evolved over time. But the thing that I think is really good about sample packs, and why I think that it's important to use them, and presets for this matter too, is that you get what I call random inspiration. What I mean by this is essentially, you get happy accidents. You get things that you wouldn't be expecting. I'm sure you've all had it where, you're going, you don't have any idea what your track is going to sound like. You're flipping through a sample pack, or you're flipping through a new pack of presets, and all of a sudden you hear that one drum loop, that one bass sound, or whatever it is. Maybe it's even just a straight up synth loop. That you're I need to make that into a track right now. And that feeling, that immediate thought in your head of I need to make a track out of that, that's why sample packs and presets are so important, and why I think that they are actually a really important part of the process, is because they give you things that you're not expecting. And this is really if you really want to talk about culture and art in general over the past, however many years since kind of sampling things has become a thing. This is really how our culture, not just music, not just any one form of art, has evolved in general. Is essentially, we're just putting together different things that we've found, and we're saying to people, hey, look how cool this is when I put it together with this, So, that's something that you gotta keep in mind, is that, it's not always just about, having these deeply original ideas that are just, nobody's ever made something like that before. A lot of times, what can make a great track is really just that feeling of just flipping through samples and going, I have to use that. So, I think that's something to keep in mind, is that when you see somebody using samples and presets, it's not always just for the sake of them being lazy and, they just don't care about production, they don't respect techno or whatever kind of thing you want to say. A lot of times, maybe they're just hip to that, maybe they're aware that, they don't have all the ideas in their head. As a creator, as an artist, you have to be able to tell yourself, I don't know everything. I don't know everything, and I'm out here with a tutorial channel teaching you guys things every day, It's you have to be able to say, okay, I don't know everything. I don't have everything right in my head right now. Let's see what I can get from this that might be ultimately 100 times greater than what I would have sat there in my room and made. Let's say you're just going to make every kick by yourself from scratch with Serum, make your own wavetables, the most pure sense of it. Well, at the end of the day, you're just gonna be stuck with the same kick over and over and over again. So, yeah, that's ultimately the gist of it, guys, is that samples and presets are important, not because they allow you to be lazy. Yes, they do can at sometimes allow you to be lazy, but really I think the big power of them is the random inspiration and the fact that somebody made this sound in a completely different mindset, in a completely different place, feeling a completely different thing from you. So now you're essentially taking all that inspiration that they channeled into that, and you're able to channel it into your own thing. And it saves you time, but it also, again, just kind of gives you things that you would never get to on your own. And you can truly say that. Think about any track that you've ever made where you've heard a sample pack loop, or you've heard a sample from a track, or you've heard a preset, and gotten really excited and then made a track around it. Think about if you really ever would have thought to make that track without the sample or without the preset. And the chances are that you wouldn't, because again, that is the value of these things. They give us different inspirations that we just would never even come to on our own. And with that, I believe that's going to be it for this one, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Definitely let me know what you think of the talking videos at the top of in the comments, guys. Like, I want to know what you guys think. I'll definitely come back with more of them. I have a lot of ideas like this, and I think just in general, like, it's good to sort of spark this debate, because I know there's going to be those warriors in the comments just talking about how, oh man, you're a fraud, like, you can't use presets and all that. But again, I just don't really see it that way. I think that it is possible to use it as a crush, but it's also possible to use it as inspiration, and it's important to just keep doing that. So let me know what you guys thought of that in the comments, and if you want to see more talking videos. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to support me, you can pick up all my sample packs and my preset packs and templates and all that kind of stuff right in the top of the description on my Bandcamp. Everything on there is just like $5 or $10, maybe a little bit more in some places. It's not too expensive, but there's really great samples and resources on there for you to be able to go and make really professional, full-sounding tracks that actually sound like the pros and don't just sound like a sample pack toy. You know, I have a bunch of great stuff there, and it really helps to support me as well if you guys enjoy these videos. And also, I've got my email at the top of the description. I'm available for custom tutorials and ghost productions. I have a few slots at the moment, so I will leave that open. You can send me an email if you're interested in a custom tutorial or a ghost production. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.